Happiness around the people that don't really wish you well is so temporary. But that joy when you actually find the people that are for you, the people that actually want to have your back, the people that actually want to pick up the phone when you have an emergency, the people that actually want to make you soup when you're sick, like those type of relationships you deserve to have in this lifetime. You deserve to experience because they're real. They are so real. And there are people living in that reality. So why can't you? But to get further, we have to dig deeper. In today's episode, we're talking discernment. Diving into this, I just want to preface it by saying that this is going to be a very dense and informative conversation that will tackle challenging concepts in a lighthearted manner. So please keep watching. Okay, we get into the nails. Hello, you see, they're eating. I'm going to be reading from my iPad here and there. So if I look this way, know that I'm reading because I've been preparing, so I don't take up too much of your time because we want to get our information and go. So when we were born, we didn't have an instruction manual. No one said, okay, this is where you go, this is what you do. You know why? Because we were all born so different. If someone said, okay, this is right and this is wrong, we would all just follow the same code. But we don't all have the same code. And that is intentional. Let's dive into the definition of discernment and then get into the 5 ways that I believe you can strengthen your discernment so you can find any hidden enemies or people who have potentially bad intentions for you. Google's definition of discernment is the ability to judge well, with the synonyms being taste, cultivation, refinement, judgment, I would say preference. Your fashion sense, my fashion sense, they're different because what I feel like makes me look more beautiful is different than probably what you feel like makes you look more beautiful. Can't speak. Okay, but just one more definition of discernment from Wikipedia is the ability to perceive, understand, and judge things clearly, especially those that are not obvious or straightforward. So basically, you're balancing the things that we can see on the 3D level and the things that we can't see, the things that God sees, He allows us women to feel through what we call intuition. And it's our job to strengthen that intuition, strengthen that discernment, so that way we're able to not overthink or overanalyze ourselves and self-sabotage and be like, they're out to get me. No, babes. That's actually not your intuition. You want to be able to really discern which is which. So it takes time. It's not just gonna happen overnight. This is why we value our elders and we respect our elders so much, because they give us the knowledge that has taken so much time. Number 1, I feel like the best way to start strengthening your discernment is to look at what areas of your life you feel like you're struggling with the most. Like, man, I just feel like I can't attract the right man, or man, I feel like I just can't attract the right friends, or man, I just feel. Look at the areas that you feel like you're struggling with most in life and start there. Start noticing things there without just jumping in with your feelings. Oh, this makes me feel it. No, notice it. Take note of it. You can write it down, take a mental note of it. Just notice it. Life is about being able to be an observer, to be the student, to be like, okay, I noticed this, and how can I learn from it and apply my knowledge so I can get better? When we're able to observe our emotions, we're able to let how things or situations or people, how that makes us feel, become secondary to the knowledge that they can convey to us. The knowledge being, does this align with who I am? Does this align with my morals? Does this represent and reflect me in the best way? Yes or no? And being able to do it on an objective level, because because our emotions literally rule our world, it can be so hard to be like, is this good for me? Oh, this makes me feel good. But is that really good for me? Is it actually making me feel like I can grow, or I'm able to achieve the things I want, or have it? Is it actually inspiring me? Like, that's what we need to ask ourselves, because regardless, everyone has requirements, boundaries, spoken or unspoken, realized or ignored. We all have preferences. We all have requirements. I like cold water versus hot water. You know what I mean? Like, we all have things that we just naturally like, whether we know why or not. We just naturally like it. And that's okay, because that literally governs our life and our experiences, and it's up to us to walk in our truth and say, hey, I like this, instead of feeling shame why we like this, because there's other people that like it too, and that are not going to make you feel bad for liking it. So just go find those people. That's literally what discernment is about. Our feelings communicate things to us that defy logic but make complete sense. And you know what that is. You felt that something's wrong, and you're like, I don't even. So number 2 is having deal breakers. I kind of mentioned it in number 1, but having deal breakers will be your best friend. Having deal breakers, non-negotiables, boundaries. Look at your past traumas and recognize what from those situations, what you no longer put up with. If you were in a relationship and they cheated, are you going to take cheating in your next relationship? Yes or no? It's up to you to decide. Just allowing ourselves to pick apart discomfort and find the root of what is making us feel uncomfortable, what is attached to in our childhood trauma, and why we think that we have to continue having this or continue being with this or this person, why we feel like we have to. 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, we don't have to. We're just telling ourselves that we have to. So when you decide that you're ready to go or ready to move on and have better, you will. And whenever you assert a boundary and you let it happen one time and you continue with this person, you are allowing yourself to perpetuate that to happen again. That can happen again and again because it happened once. And now this person, after it happens once and you don't check that, you don't lay some consequences for that, you are telling them, I could do it again. Because people like to play life like it's a game. They're like, okay, let's see what happens. If I push this button, what happens? And it's not a game. Feelings are not a game. Some people take that really, really personal. And some people react in ways you will never understand. So it's like, the more we don't play about ourselves, the more people won't play about us. It's very important not to just judge yourself into change. Like, you will find change when it finds you. You will find change when it finds you. When you're like, I'm sick of this. When you're disgusted, when you're ready to have more, that's when it's going to hit you. It's going to be greater than any fear, greater than any. It's going to hit you so deeply that you're like, yeah, I won't experience this ever again. No one will ever treat me like this ever again. No one will ever make me feel like this ever again. And that is super, super important. So after all this unpacking, allowing yourselves to continue to have new experiences and make new connections. It is so very important not to close ourselves off from the world because of our hurt. Because when we do that, that is when we give up. That is when we say, I don't want to grow anymore because I'm too hurt, because I cannot handle another hurt, because it's difficult to move through hurt. It's difficult to feel through hurt. It's difficult to recognize, like, how could I have tolerated this? Or how could this person have done it to me? But a lot of people don't even recognize that they're moving out of hurt. So that is where forgiveness comes along. But forgiveness is another video, is another topic. We'll get there. What you put in is what you get out. So seek the things that you desire and walk in your truth. You have to come to a point in yourself, in your truth, that you are not ashamed. If you like going out in biker shorts to the club, if you are a wedge girly, you are a wedge girly. Don't let somebody change you into a stiletto pop. No, you like wedges because they're comfy. So wear the wedges. Why not wear the wedges? Like, come on, it's your style, it's your taste. It's what makes you feel like you. It's what makes you feel comfortable, and that's perfectly fine. Number 5 is being yourself. This is such a vague phrase that is thrown around, but I stand by it so much because honestly, to be yourself is literally just to exist. After you allow yourself to experience things, taking from those experiences what you like and leaving what you don't like. Because when you take what you like and what you don't like, you're saying, I want every and anything. I like anything. I want this off the street. I don't even need a plate for my food. Just give it to me off the floor. You're saying, I'll accept anything. And one thing that I really, really admire about being a woman is the magnetism, the ability to attract. We say, I don't chase, I attract. But what happens when you attract things you don't want? That's where the dark feminine comes in. That's where using your voice, having your boundaries is so important. Because if we cannot push away what we don't want, we are saying, I want more stress, I want more anxiety, we are literally asking for these things to continue in our life instead of saying, no, I'm closing that door to stress, to anxiety. I want more peace. And sometimes the peace is in your ability to speak up, is in letting people know. And if you're not going to let them know, at least remove yourself. But at the end of the day, all in all, where we want to get to is being able to comfortably and confidently speak and walk in our truth, so we may surround ourselves with the most beautiful connections, healthy connections that reciprocate the love that we have for ourselves within ourselves. That is super, super important. And I pray that everybody gets to experience that level of love of self and love for their life, because that is really true freedom. So I want you to take everything I said with a grain of salt and go on about your merry day in grace and in love. I'll see you on the next episode. You got this. I can feel the discernment getting stronger and stronger.